Toronto police will be back on the scene today at one of the city's most popular shopping centers following a fatal weekend shooting. It happened in the parking lot of Yorkdale Mall Saturday evening. A 23-year-old man was killed and another man sent to hospital. Police say both victims are known to them. It all comes less than a year after a fatal shootout in the food court of Toronto's Eaton Centre. Joining us now is Dave Perry. He is the CEO of Investigative Solutions Network and a former homicide investigator for the Toronto Police. Always good to see you.
Good morning.
So the police were quick to say, you know, we don't know that this is gang related. We're not sure, but they did say it involved two groups and both were packing. So what do you make of this?
Well, I think what they said is they can't say that it's gang related.
Right.
But the latter part of their statement would lead all of us to believe that there's all the earmarkings that you need to inform the opinion that, in fact, it was gang-related.
So here we are again, you know, a busy mall.
Yes.
You know, it used to be, Dave, that when gangs, or if I shouldn't say gangs, when people of this ilk took care of their business, it was under the cloak of darkness. It wasn't broad daylight or in the middle of a busy mall. What's happening? What's changed?
Well, traditionally, gangs used to be more neighborhood-related. So they would take care of business in their neighborhoods, and most of it was happening late at night and so on. But today, they're so mobile, just like the rest of us. They're well-resourced, they're well-organized, they have a lot of money, and they're in amongst the communities, not just here in Toronto, but they've spread right across this country, in our smaller communities, and certainly in a big way in the GTA. And we're seeing them wherever we go. For me personally, I see gang members everywhere I go. Sometimes I see them and I know they're packing because I recognize some of the signs of people carrying a weapon.
You know what to look for, but you know, someone walking around a shopping mall wouldn't know what to look for necessarily, right?
Right. It's the unfortunate thing that comes with policing. You never really turn it off, and even though I'm long retired, I still see what I see. I see drug dealers, I see gang members, and they're amongst us wherever we go.
You know, how concerned should people be about this kind of brazen situation? I mean, this is the second shooting in a mall in less than a year. Yorkdale, the Eaton Centre, and then there's the Danzig shooting that wasn't a mall, but still it was a barbecue, it was a community event.
It was a very public shooting.
That's right.
I think we all need to be concerned, but the one thing that I've always believed is we can't give in to criminals and into gang members by not going to these public places, but we do need to go with a whole new set of rules and observations in terms of our own safety. My kids are all grown, but I still, when they go to one of the busy malls that we're talking about, there's a safety plan in place. I have that talk with them and warn them what to look for and what to stay away from. But it's very unfortunate that this is what we have to do today. These criminals are so indiscriminate now, they just don't care. If they decide that this is going to happen here at a public place in a mall, and they decide that's where the shooting is going to occur, they don't look at the backdrop. They don't look who's in front, who's behind, and they just start shooting, and they're not trained. You know, they don't really know what they're doing with these weapons. They just start squeezing the trigger, and nowadays they're typically a fairly high caliber semi-automatic weapon, and they can release a lot of bullets in a very short period of time, and that's the frightening part.
So from a policing perspective, what are the challenges being faced right now as there are other suspects here at large?
Well, of course, we know we have potentially a half a dozen people out there that are still armed, and probably you have gang members who are still in a retaliation mode, so you never know if something else is going to happen. You know, there's going to be some payback from what happened on Saturday night at Yorkdale, and that could happen anytime, any place in our city.
Which is a scary thought.
That's the thing that keeps us awake at night, for sure.
So good to have you here. Thank you, Dave.
My pleasure.